I bought my husband a surprise dinner at his office, and found out he had left the company since the past 3 months. Thinking of what he did this all time left me in shock. My husband and I were married for 5 years. Last few months he was staying late in the office because of the work overload. I hold a teachership job, so always at home before evening, and also, I get a lot more holidays. One day, I prepared dinner, and went to deliver it to his office. Imagine my shock when they told me he hadn't been there for over 3 months, since he was laid off. I felt incredibly surprised and humiliated. I came back home. The next morning, while preparing breakfast, and watching him get ready for work, I asked, "By the way, how's work? You mentioned something about a promotion?" "Huh. Oh, it's fine. Still a lot of work to get that promotion, dear," he said, without batting an eye. I saw him off to work as usual, then got in a taxi, and followed him. My heart sank when my husband entered a residential area, and parked the car on the curbside. A woman came out, and opened the garage door partially, and both entered inside. Then the garage shutter came down, leaving me in my car, on the other side of the road, and imagining what could be happening inside the closed garage door. I inhaled a breath, and came back home. It was a school holiday, and I had enough time to sit down, and ponder what to do. I am Isha, a woman in my early 30s. I met Henry when we both were attending a yoga camp. It was a love at first sight, though for neither, it was a first love. My boyfriend had left me when he got a more beautiful girl. And Henry was steady with his girlfriend, for years. Both were engineers, and were living under the same roof. She left him. Henry was honest with me. He blamed himself for the separation. He was interested to begin a startup technology company, which had lots of uncertainty. His girlfriend didn't like the idea, because she had researched that about 80% such startups fail. It meant she would have to pay for the bills for unlimited number of years, and their dream destination wedding would have been cancelled because of lack of funds. Henry had dropped the idea of the startup, though he had confided me if he gets some partner who has enough capital, he could still rethink of that. Provided the partnership should pay him a decent salary until the startup could stand on its own feet. The idea, he was confident, could earn huge money. We both dated, and within months got married. After all, we both were matured enough to be assured that the decision to accept each other was a correct one. The next day, I booked a cab and followed him. I kept my cab at a strategic distance and had my phone ready to record in video mode. I needed it for my own conviction before making a decision. The woman was beautiful and younger than me. I worried that Henry might leave me, like my ex-boyfriend did, for a more beautiful woman. For a couple of weeks, I pretended like nothing had happened. I also wondered how Henry was still contributing to household expenses despite being laid off. One day, I asked Henry about his job, and if he had any problems. He explained that his company had lost some contracts, and instead of firing people, they reduced everyone's salary to ensure job security. He mentioned that he was earning less now. I didn't mind supporting him if his story was true. But deep down, I knew he wasn't being honest with me. I forced a smile, and reassured him that I would do what I could to help. During the school holidays, I stayed busy and joined a meditation camp near Blue Mountains. There, I met Leo, who was from Lebanon, and on a work visa. I was initially worried about our different religious beliefs, but Leo assured me that he was not religious and believed in the equality of all religions. We started dating, and I saw it as a way to get back at Henry, who had been cheating on me for months without my knowledge. I wanted Henry to see that I had moved on before we officially ended things. After several months, I asked for a mutual divorce, and decided not to seek any compensation from Henry. It wasn't worth it, since I knew he had nothing to give me. I was satisfied knowing that he would struggle financially without me. We never discussed the other woman, but Henry admitted that he had gone too far to salvage our relationship. We separated amicably. I found out I was pregnant just 2 weeks before my official divorce. Leo was the father. Since I mentally accepted Leo as my partner, Henry and I were having sex less often. I wanted to tell Henry about my pregnancy, but I decided not to, because it would complicate things. Leo got a job near the Blue Mountains, and I requested to be transferred to a nearby school. Leo and I started living together. When I asked Leo about marriage, he said he wanted his parents to attend the wedding. He applied for their visa, but it was taking time to gather the necessary documents. I was 3 months pregnant, and happy with the attention Leo was giving me. Leo came home one day, looking visibly upset. I asked him what was wrong. He explained that the police in his country were very corrupt and demanding a bribe of 50,000 Australian dollars for a police clearance certificate. I had heard stories about corruption in third world countries. I had saved money for our wedding, but Leo didn't have much savings, as he was supporting his parents, who had no income. Despite this, I was willing to do anything for true love. I also wanted Leo's parents to be able to visit Australia and see their only child get married. Leo explained that sending money to his parents' account wouldn't solve the problem. He needed to be there in person to withdraw the money from the bank and give it to the corrupt police. I understood his point. I withdrew $50,000 from my own account, leaving me with very little money. However, I had confidence in my steady government job. It was a small sacrifice to secure a life with the man I truly love. Leo went to Lebanon while I was 5 months pregnant. He told me he would return soon with his parents, and we needed to get married before our child was born. His parents wouldn't accept a child born out of wedlock. I respected their beliefs and values. Leo called me from Lebanon, and I was excited to speak to his parents, despite the language barrier. Leo acted as our translator. I was relieved when they said they were fine with a non-religious wedding, considering I am not a Muslim. I was grateful, and couldn't believe that leaving Henry was the right decision for me. Leo confirmed that the money was in his Lebanese bank account, and that he was meeting with the migration agent for the necessary paperwork. Leo called me again after a week, expressing his worry. He said, "Isha, I'd rather not bring his parents than spend so much money." I advised him to calm down and take a deep breath. He mentioned that the doctors were also asking for a bribe. Despite his parents being perfectly fit, their age would prevent them from obtaining a clean medical certificate. Although he could have gone to any other doctor, the Australian embassy would only accept those on their approved list. This meant an additional cost of $30,000, which I didn't have in my account. I told Leo that I would try to find a solution, but couldn't make any promises, as I might need to borrow from my retired mother, who might not be able to provide such a large amount. I planned to visit my mother personally after a week when the school holiday started, in order to persuade her that this expense was necessary for our daughter's long-term family life. However, before I could do that, Leo called again with good news. He had managed to negotiate with the doctors, reducing the cost to $15,000. And there was more good news for me. His parents have agreed to sell their second house, and give us all the money as a gift. The sales price could be $700,000, which he would bring to Australia. He suggested that we start looking for houses to buy so that we could live in our new home before the dream wedding. I felt like I was floating in the sky with joy. However, my mother was not convinced. Nevertheless, she still lent me $15,000. I sent the money to Leo and informed him that I wouldn't be able to be in touch for the next few days because I was taking my students on a 3-day camping trip to a remote location where there would be no connectivity. Leo was sad, but understanding, as he knew that soon our dream of owning our dream home and having our dream wedding would come true. Upon returning from the camping trip, my first instinct was to reach out to Leo. His voice always brought a sense of comfort. However, my call went unanswered, which didn't surprise me. Leo had previously mentioned the abysmal state of the telephone and internet networks in his country. To my dismay, I made multiple attempts over the course of several days to contact him, all in vain. Leo despised social media and didn't have any presence on platforms like Facebook or Instagram. As a last resort, I decided to visit his place of work. Given that Blue Mountains area was a small township, one could easily navigate all the roads within a few hours. I struggled to find the workplace he had once told me, but my search proved futile. This revelation hit me as the second major shock I experienced, following the betrayal by Henry. I ransacked his wardrobe. In fact, he hadn't left any papers, and the wardrobe had only a few old clothes. He might have left them, so that I won't doubt him. I opened his files. It was full of rubbish. But finally, I found a copy of his passport. He was not Leo. His real name was Omar. The world felt too dirty to me. I slipped into depression. My mother asked me to take a long holiday and stay with her for treatment. I came back to Sydney to live with her. There was hardly a month for the delivery of my child. One evening, my mom asked me to go to a restaurant with her. I wasn't sure, but I agreed. We went to a restaurant by the lake. After finishing our dinner and paying the bill, we walked out. I noticed a couple leaving the restaurant too. It was the same woman that Henry was cheating on me with. But who was the man with her? Did Henry break up with her? Then I saw Henry coming out. The couple said goodbye to Henry and got into their car. Henry saw me and approached me. I was confused. I asked Henry, who was that woman? He replied, she's my business partner, and that's her husband. He explained everything to me. The woman, along with Henry, started a startup to create a small electronic device that could detect heart problems without a medical checkup. Since I was against such a venture, he kept it a secret from me and started working on it covertly. He worked part-time as a faculty member during the day to earn some money. Then they both worked late to achieve their dream. His partner, who was married, had her husband financing the venture. Eventually, they succeeded. A multinational company signed an agreement to manufacture the product, giving them $10 million as a signing amount and a stake in the company. I regretted suspecting and divorcing Henry. It was my mistake to trust another man, who turned out to be a fraud. I extended my congratulations to Henry for his remarkable achievement and offered my sincere apologies for doubting him. In response, Henry asked me if he could make a request. Henry, I began, feeling a sense of loss. I have lost everything. What is there that I can give? With genuine sincerity, he replied, Isha, would you consider marrying me once again? I promise to devote my complete attention to you. You are the only woman I love. Concerned about the unborn child, I hesitated. But Henry promptly reassured me, the child will be mine. I will be their father. Just a day before Ella was born, we remarried. I was astounded to see that she resembled Henry's mother. I had previously believed that the child belonged to that fraud. It was a pleasant surprise to discover that Henry was the biological father. Now, the three of us lead a joyous life in our magnificent waterfront mansion, with our daughter Ella by our side. Do you like this story? You will love to read the romance, Dream in Shackles, written by S.A. Spencer. It's available in Amazon, for a small price. The link is in the description box below the video. Also, please subscribe and like this video, so that we will bring more such heartwarming stories for you.